This turkey's not bad.
Yeah, turkey is pretty good. It's not that dry. And you can never have enough gravy.
Yeah, it's really light. It is just a hair earthy. And I'm getting a tiny bit of pepper. A little white pepper in there.
And this is another one that's under $20. I believe this is what?
It was like
16?
I'll say 16, and when you see this on the webisode, there'll be a little title here that'll correct me, but I believe it was 16. Yeah, it's got that acidity the same as the last wine that, again, cleans the palate. Right. No matter what you just had, the salty gravy clears it out, gets me ready for the next bite.
I love the earthiness in this wine.
But it should be pointed out, it's not like a heavy, it's just like a dusting of earthiness.
Right.
It's just like
just in the background.
That's very Pinot-esque in its flavor profile, but very light, very pleasant, very easy drinking. Let me try it with the
stuffing.
Oh, the stuffing. Okay, I was going to go for the cranberry, but
we can pretty much decide that nothing goes well with cranberry.
Well, look. Yeah, it's interesting because the cranberry, the stuffing, always has the sort of the onions and the celery and those kind of earthy herbal notes, and then you're pairing it with this earthy wine. It's kind of a nice complement. I was going to say, listen, I as much as I hate the cranberry sauce, it's my responsibility as the host of WineExpedition.com. Even if I don't like cranberry sauce, if my viewers want it, I'm going to have cranberry sauce. Let's try it with the Morgon Cru Beaujolais.
Here, let me get you a little more.
Yeah. Doesn't need to wash the taste out of my mouth. As far as cranberry sauce goes, this is definitely not a good cranberry sauce. So it already had one strike against it, and then it wasn't a very good one to begin with. Interesting. My cranberry sauce that I had was touching the stuffing a little bit, so I had all those flavors going on, and then the Cru Beaujolais came in. Very nice selection, Steve, I have to say.
Yep. I always think acidity is the key, but you got to remember, it's more about the entire event of Thanksgiving, the enjoyment of the day, enjoyment of the food, the company. So if your friends or your family don't like French wines, we can definitely go to California. You can try South America, Chile, Argentina. Well, there's really no wrong answer.
Well, it's interesting you say that because some of my family members, if they didn't like French wine, I would be all the more reason for me to have a bottle of French wine on the table, because that way they wouldn't drink any of it. But joking aside, it's interesting you say that. You mentioned earlier the concept of a 10-course Thanksgiving dinner and pairing. But that could be an interesting take on Thanksgiving. Suggest to everybody, hey, bring something you like, or hey, Uncle Larry, you get something from Chile. Aunt Thelma, you bring something from Argentina, and everybody brings something different, and you have a little bit of a smorgasbord of wine. You have a little bit of everything. I'm kind of enjoying this experience right now, and I think this could be an interesting thing to replicate on Thanksgiving Day itself, where everybody, hey, have a little bit. Have you had this white wine? Try some of this, and everybody kind of partakes and has a good time, and cleans up the mess in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, let's
make a party out of it.
Absolutely, it is a holiday. Let's move on to our third wine.
Uh-oh.
I really like this. I have to say. Are you spinning? Are you pouring?
I don't.
Yeah, I need to learn how to do that. That's something I'm not very good at.
So our next wine, speaking of California, we're going from the village of Morgon to the winery Morgan, which is in Santa Lucia Highlands. This is always one of my favorite California Pinot Noirs each year, both for price, value, quality.
Price point, this was about 20.
Yeah, it was 22,
23. Yeah.
And they always make a very nice Pinot. They named after the 12 clones that they use to go into that are planted in the vineyard. All the different clones of Pinot Noir, and they use 12.
Well, we recently on the site reviewed the Lully Pinot Noir, which is also from the Santa Lucia Highlands, and certainly the Pisoni family. It's an area that's very rich in California with Pinot, Pinot people. I mean, it's there's obviously something good going on there because the Pisonis are there, and it's good stuff. So
good microclimate.
All right, so let's check this out. And Pinot Noir, I mean, that's sort of my go-to for Thanksgiving. If you follow the blog, last year on Thanksgiving, I had an Oregon Pinot from Soder Vineyards. Yep. Tony Soder, who founded Etude, now is up in the Willamette Valley making wonderful Pinot Noirs, and that's what I had for my Thanksgiving bottle, and it was a truly special bottle of wine, and it really made for the meal. But I always, Riesling and everything is great, but for me, Pinot is that wine, like you said, that it sort of speaks to me and makes my heart sing. So it's like Thanksgiving dinner, special wine, I'm going to find a Pinot that I like. So that 9 times out of 10, that's what I'm going to be drinking. So I'm excited that you chose this. And here we go with the turkey and gravy once again. That is a nice nose. Mm-hmm. Wow. It's got that sort of strawberries and cherries, but with like this nice dusting of earth underneath, mm-hmm. or almost like earth.
Santa Lucia always has this beautiful, just fragrant cherry.
Yeah, but with a backbone of like earth or spice box, like some like really nice sort of autumn spices, like pumpkin spices or something.
But even for a California wine, which is usually more opulent, fatter, richer, there's still nice acidity. Mm-hmm. And a little bit of structure.
There's an elegance to it at the end of the day. Excuse me.
Which is what they do. This is a very elegant California style.
Well, we've talked about this. I mean, California Pinots, that's the I don't want to say mistake, but oftentimes some of the Pinots we've tried from parts of California they're just sort of like warm in my mouth. There's just like kind of unbridled and kind of all over the place. And there's no sort of finesse to it compared to when we were up in Oregon. We were up at Scott Paul and some of the Willamette Valley Oregon Pinots that are more Burgundian, more restrained, more elegant, more subtle. Mm-hmm. And this definitely has it. I mean, this is some big fruit.
Right. There's still a lot of fruit.
There's a lot of fruit, and it's complex, but it's complex in a restrained, elegant, refined sort of manner.
And that's what California brings. You have the California sunshine. You're going to have really ripe fruit, so you're going to have richer, riper wines, but you can still make them to where they're elegant at the same time.
Dude, the spiciness at the end is really nice. And when I say spicy, be clear, again, I'm talking about like sort of pumpkin spice and nutmeg, and it's just like a nice, long, spicy finish.
The finish on this wine is really nice. And you can cocktail with this wine, or you can have it with turkey dinner. It's a wine that's a little more versatile. You can drink it after the meal.
Right.
As a cocktail wine.
You can drink it before the meal as a cocktail wine, aperitif, as it were.
But it definitely still has the structure to stand up to dinner. Mm-hmm. This turkey is actually pretty good.
It works with the cranberries too.
Does it?
It kind of neuters and neutralizes that offensive cranberry flavor that we always appreciate in the holidays. This is a nice wine. And again, I'm gravitating towards what makes my heart sing, what I like at the holidays, but somebody else might be like, oh, that Pinot was nice, but I really liked the Cru Beaujolais. I mean, it just again, whatever you think works, chances are it's going to work with your Thanksgiving meal.
Right. And if your budget is a lot higher, you certainly can go to entirely different levels.
Sky's the limit.
Right.
And yeah, we talked about this before on the blog as well. If you're having a ham for your dinner, you could have a Zinfandel, something kind of jammy that acts as sort of a glaze to the ham. I mean, Gewürz works with Thanksgiving dinner as well. So really what it comes down to, I guess, is the moral of this story. Despite the fact that we have 3 examples of wines that work with Thanksgiving dinner, it really comes down to whatever you like, whatever you want to try. Chances are it's going to work. And you know what? Get a couple of bottles. If you have a table of wine lovers and a table of food, get a table of wine and have a little bit of everything. You can't go wrong.
I do like the idea of everybody bringing a different bottle.
Absolutely.
That's a fun idea.
Somebody assigns assigns to each person an assignment. And, bring this, bring that.
I like that.
One more taste and we're going to sign off here. Steve, as always, your wisdom is much appreciated, and your company as well. Thank you so much for shedding a little bit of light on the question of what wine to pair with Thanksgiving dinner.
You're welcome.
Until next time, I'm Neil Myers from WineExpedition.com with my friend Steve Greer.
Cheers.
Cheers and happy Thanksgiving.